Cults prey on vulnerable people, with children being the most at risk. Our next cult survivor story centers around abuse at a boarding school and a daughter who broke free from the following.
My parents, Boyd and Stephanie Householder, opened Circle of Hope in July 2006.
A boarding school for girls she now calls an abusive cult.
When I was a baby, I was really, really close with my father. My song and his song was Wrapped Around Your Finger by The Police.
After turning 5, Amanda's mom convinced her dad to return to religion and join the Independent Fundamental Baptists. This changed the lives of hundreds of children forever. In 2001, her dad began working at Agape boarding school for boys. That experience led him to strict practices that became more abusive.
Agape was exactly how my dad was. Agape also is where my dad learned to restrain, do extreme workouts for the kids, withhold water, food portions.
And in 2006, her parents opened Circle of Hope Ranch for girls, and things got worse.
My parents were extreme when it came to punishing. So if we were at church and I needed to go to the bathroom, but I ended up in the hallway talking with my friends, that would cause me at home to be severely beaten. It wasn't just like a couple of spankings. It was beaten until I was black and blue, beaten until I couldn't move. When I was 8, I tried running away. When I was 10, I started trying to commit suicide. I just always knew something was wrong, but no matter who I went to, no matter what I did to speak out, I always ended up getting punished worse because it always got back to my parents.
Once Amanda was on her own, girls started making more claims of abuse and rape online. At first, Amanda denied them, but once a shocking video surfaced, she was forced to confront the truth.
Knock her out.
Yes, sir. I had my kids, and something inside of me started realizing that I would never do this to my kids. It's not right. And then I started realizing, oh my gosh, this is happening to other people's kids currently. And I have to speak out. I have to do something about it.
Thank you for joining us, Amanda, and being so brave to share your story with us. So when you think back about the Circle of Hope Ranch for girls, what are some of the first thoughts that come to your mind?
I think of torture, sadness. I don't think of happiness at all.
So what exactly was happening to you that led you to want to run away and even attempt suicide when you were growing up?
Even from infancy, we were spanked. And when I say spanked, it wasn't just like 1 or 2 pats on the butt. It was beatings. By the time I was 8, I was being beaten so bad that it was leaving bruises and blood and bruises on my body. And so I just didn't want to deal with that anymore.
When girls first started making claims of abuse, your father convinced you to defend him. What was the one thing that finally got you to speak out against your parents? What changed you?
I had kids myself. I had reached out to so many people as a child trying to get them to do something to help me, and no one ever believed me. Once I had my own kids, I really truly realized that what was happening wasn't right, and it was happening to other people's kids, not just my family anymore. I would never let someone treat my child that way, and so I felt that I needed to do something.
Wow.
To speak out.
You know, we often talk about the positive sides of social media. So explain how social media played a role in how you and other victims were able to finally get authorities involved so that you could press charges.
I posted a video about what went on behind closed doors with that school. From there, we blew up. We got 20,000 followers a day, to the point that it got the attention of a deputy in Cedar County. And so from that point on, he started taking our statements. We had at least, I want to say 30 girls come forward and give their statements to him. And then by September of that year, Circle of Hope was, the girls were being removed. So social media has a huge role into us being heard.
Wow. So what was specifically in the video that made people actually pay attention to you this time?
The video is just my mom in the background, like smiling and smirking with all the dogs. But then it's my dad yelling at the girls, knock her out. If she clenches her fist, knock her out. And he says it over and over and over. And he's telling all of the girls to knock out this one girl if she clenches her fist. I later on found out that that girl was only 13.
Can I ask you what the hardest part about coming forward was, but also the best part?
I always wanted to have the perfect family. I wanted to be my dad's little girl. I wanted my mom to love me. I just wanted that. And so the hardest part was knowing that doing this, I was never going to get it, but I would never have the opportunity to get that. I was a daddy's little girl. And so that was the hardest part, was knowing that my parents were going to hate me. They weren't just going to be mad at me, they were going to hate me. The best part, I would have to say, was knowing that those girls were getting out and that they would not have to endure at all anymore what we went through.
I am just so sorry that you've had to endure all that. No child should ever have to endure that. But at the same time, I'm so proud of you for being so courageous, because you really are saving so many lives. Speaking of your parents, they are facing more than 100 felony charges, but are currently at home. That makes me angry. Explain how that's possible.
It's kind of ironic if you think about it in a sick way. One of the things my parents would refuse was medical attention for the girls. My mom and dad went to jail and started claiming my mom has blood clot in her foot. Well, all the evidence shows that it's just an infection in her foot and that she was getting better. But they let her out on medical necessity. Wow. And then my dad claimed he had COVID, and there's no evidence to him even having COVID. So they got out by claiming medical needs.
That's absurd. Yeah. Thank you for coming on here today and speaking your truth. We appreciate you more than you'll ever know.